Om Sadashivasamaramбхам Shankaracharyamध्यamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guruparampara. Okay, so we completed the summary etc. of the third verse, first three verses last time. So I'm not going, unless there are really some questions etc. we can go ahead with the last thing. So shall we start the fourth chapter today? Fourth sutra, not fourth chapter, fourth sutra. Okay. So the fourth sutra is called Tattva Samanvaya. The whole chapter is called Tattva Samanvaya because of the sutra. Samanvaya meaning a reconciliation. Literally it means that. Literally, okay? What is to be reconciled? Like in the Upanishads, you will find a lot of Vakyas. Some dealing with Brahman, some dealing with the Atma, some dealing with Jiva, some dealing with Srishti, the creation. The purpose is to show all of them as Ekam Advitiyam Brahman as the Tatparya. It all ends up in Brahma Jnana. This is the Samanvaya that's happening. That Advaitam Satyam, Satyam Advaitam. This is what has to be proved. Because Vakyas can be many. Sometimes creation is dealt with. Sometimes some upasanas also may be dealt with. But as Krishna says in the Gita, Sarvas Kokilam Karma Jnane Parisamapyate. That is to be shown clearly. So that is why the fourth sutra is called Tattva Samanvaya, because you have seen that the Shastra is the Karanam for Brahman, Brahma Jnana. Alright, now how does Brahma Jnanam take place in the Shastra? So that has to be clarified. So again, Madhusudana Saraswati in his Vaiyasikya Nyaya Mala puts two verses. One Sandeha and Purvapaksha, the other the Siddhanta. Okay. So he says, Vedantaha kartu devadadi paraha brahma paravataha anushtana upayogatvad kartradi pratipadakaha. Kartradi pratipadakaha. He says, Vedanta Kartru Devadadi Paraha. Or is it Brahma Paraha? Is it dealing with the Karta and Devata etc.? Or is it dealing with Brahman? This question, this is a doubt. Why? Because all these are mentioned in the Veda. So what is the Tatparya? He says, I'm going to mute everyone. Anyone wants to ask a question, will have to unmute themselves and ask. Okay? Then he says, Anushtana upayogatvad kartradi pratipadakaha. Anushtana upayogatvad. Full. The Veda is meant for Anushtana, for karma. This is a sutra also in Gemini. Amnayasya kriyartatvad anartakya madadarthana. The whole Veda is connected with kriya. Nothing else is meaningful. Therefore, if there is something, like kriya is what? First section of the Veda. Fine. You are dividing it as first section. No? You are dividing it as first section, etc. For us, it is all one section only. Veda hai, bas. Where is this thing? Because Kriya Tattvam and Upanishad has its use. Why? You understand the Karta better. You understand the Devata better. The true nature of the Devata is understood as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahmanati. Okay? Therefore, the result will be better. the result will be better. Therefore, the whole Veda is meant for action.
Meant for
Action.
action.
Karma. Karma. Action meaning karma. You want something or the other, no? You want something or the other in life. You are looking for happiness, etc. Correct. But look at it. I want to be happy. When now? How are you going to be happy? Let us say 3-4 friends get together. Sham ko. Yeah. You have met. Why are 4-5 friends getting together? To be happy. I mean, what else is friendship for? Friendship has got no ulterior motives, no? If you're saying let us start a business, then it becomes a business meeting. It does not become a friendship meeting. Friends can start a business, but it becomes a business meeting. It's not a friendship meeting.
Friendship is no longer.
Huh?
Once you enter business, friendship is gone.
Friendship also is gone, exactly. Or business is gone.
All the business.
No, so you start. Then what do you say? अरे करेगा क्या यार? Like I remember the scene in Big Man. What can we do that is different? What can we do that does not involve going out? What can we do that is free? That person is broke. The idea is what? कुछ करना है ना. So happiness will come from doing something, na. कुछ करना तो है. I want to be happy means what? Do something to be happy. बैठ के थोड़ी खुशी हो जाता है. At least get spiritual. The spiritual. That's what. If the friends group is only men, that's what will happen. So, कुछ करना है. Therefore, he says, अनुष्ठान उपयोगत्वाद कर्त्रादि प्रतिपादकः. Meant for अनुष्ठानम, spiritual है, करना है. ये बात करने से कुछ नहीं होता है, कुछ करो. All Vedanta is only talk. और कुछ नहीं. कुछ साधना करो, ये करो. थोड़ा अनुभव आना चाहिए ना. Famous argument ना. To do something. बैठ के बात करते. All talk. This is all intellectual.
Doesn't look like you have come from UK. Looks like you have come from UP.
बहुत सिमिलरिटी है. This is what it is. Therefore. In fact, the last thing I said, UK में बहुत होता है. Pub crawling.
Every day.
Pub crawling. अरे यार पीना ना. एक you go to one pub and have a drink there, sit down, chat, from another to another.
And these pubs are so noisy, you can't chat also.
Yeah, I know, it's so noisy. Pubs are too noisy, too dark. You don't see each other. And they're surprised if you ask for some food. They have food, but they're surprised if you ask for some food. Yeah, so बहुत ये हो जाता था. Okay. Now, therefore, कुछ उपासना करो, ये करो, वो करो, अच्छा है. You know, do some. Because that is what is meant for. Because what does your Upanishad say? Let me make the Purva Paksha better. Andam tama pravishyanti. ये अविद्याम उपासते तस्ते भूयोव तमः यो विद्याम उपासते. ईसावासी उपनिषद में बोला है कि नहीं बोला है? Those who worship avidya will go into darkness. Those who worship vidya will go into greater darkness. Therefore, one is meditation, etc. Other is karma, etc. You combine them together, only then you get proper phalam, better phalam. So, similarly, for combining, the Upanishad section is given. Pura karma tight ho gaya. Quoting your Upanishad. Bas, ho gaya. So, you may say there is Bhinna Prakarma, but for us it's all one karma orientation. Okay. Okay, then the answer to that, the Siddhanta to that is
Hmm.
Bhinna Prakarna Lingashtatakacha Brahma Bodhakaha Sati Prayojane Anarthahanehe Anushtanotra Kim Anushtana Atra Kim Bhinna Prakarna. We established a Bhinna Prakarna, a separate section for the Upanishad by Shadlinga Vicharaha. What is Shadlinga Vichara? Yaad hai?
Yeah, beginning and
Upakrama,
it should
Upasamhara,
be
Abhyasaha,
Yes.
Upapattihi, Apurvataha, Arthavada.
Phalam.
6 signs.
Phalam.
Yeah? Phalam. Phalam also. 6 signs. Because Upakrama, Upasamhara is 1. So by this analysis, really speaking, this analysis should be there in any book that you have written, okay? Writing. That makes it complete. Maybe Arthavada may not be there in modern books. Okay. Everything else. Some sort of Arthavada is there, but not too much of it. What is that? And now, by the sixfold analysis, you are establishing that the Upanishad is a separate section. In fact, the term Vedanta came about because of that. That the end portion of the Veda is a separate section. So Vedanta is a positional name, and that positional name is important. Because if it is somewhere scattered here and there, how do you establish separate section? Separate section means it has to stand out. It can be there in the middle, but it has to stand out. A position has to be given for a separate section. You can't say this is a separate section. One chapter is some verses are there in the first chapter, some verses are there in the 5th chapter, some in the 8th chapter. That can't be. If it is a separate section, it has to be together. Okay, it has to be together. Therefore, Shadlinga Vicharya. And how do you establish a section? How do you begin, how you end? Is it in harmony? That's why I said, no, this type of teaching doesn't work. There are two things in this world, Atma and Anatma. You start. Drisya Vivekena. Then where you end up in? Ekameva Dvitiya Brahma. Huh? You began by saying there are two things. You end up by saying one thing. You are contradicting yourself. What you began to establish Atma and Anatma, you are dismissing that in the ending. So what are you doing? Upakrama Upasamhara has to be in harmony. So that's why this section is all talking about karma. This section is talking all about jnanam. Okay, so where does it begin? Where does it end? Upakrama Upasamhara. Then Abhyasa. Is it a stray idea said somewhere? And all religions speak of the same thing. Yeah, really. When consistently chapter after chapter is talking about going to heaven, and here chapter after chapter is talking about moksha, is it the same thing? So all religions being same, etc. is not true. We can live together by saying all religions are valid ways of relating to Ishvara. That also we can't say with some religions. Why? If my religion is saying, for my religion to exist, I have to kill you, how can we coexist? How can we coexist? Coexistence itself becomes difficult. How do you coexist? When my ultimate aim is to either convert you or kill you, how is coexisting possible? If we can say, hey, all religions are valid, all religions are freedom to practice, you live and let be, then you can live together. No absence. Live and let be. Fine, you practice what you have to, I practice. In Hinduism, this is common. The Veda Shikara talks about the Upanishad. But I don't want that. I want to do this much only. Fine, we include that. Not a problem. not ready for moksha, Baba, nahi chahiye. What do I want? A job, a partner in life. Okay, we will give you some practices for that. Want to get a job? Here is the mantra. You want to get a partner in life? Here, Swamvara Parvati mantra. Get married, etc. Fine. You want a visa to go abroad? उसके लिए भी है. I'm not joking.
In Chennai, there is a temple
Temple like that, yeah.
where the Ganesha idol is supposed to be so powerful that everybody before going for a visa interview
Goes there and goes.
It's
Yeah.
popularly known as Visa Ganpati.
क्या वीजा
Visa Ganpati.
चेन्नई में है.
Yeah, Chennai. A temple in Chennai.
अच्छा.
So similarly, a lot of it. So what do you want? Veda will give you. Okay. But what is the purpose of the whole thing? Ultimately, what do you want? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. No? So Dharma, Artha, Kama is clubbed together. Moksha separate. That's why Bhinna Prakaranam. Therefore, goal is different. Uniqueness of the goal comes in. Apurvata comes in. Uniqueness in terms of goal. Uniqueness in terms of Adhikari. The Adhikari is also unique. No? Moksha Kama. One desire in life. One purpose. Ultimately. Ultimate purpose is moksha. In between other things can be there, that's okay, but ultimate what's your purpose? Moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama is only meant to manage your life until I gain moksha. That's it. That person becomes the adhikari. Therefore, unique adhikari, unique this. And apurvata in terms of knowledge also. What the Upanishad can give you, no other book in the world can give you. The seeds of this thought may be there in other stray statements here and there. But here there is abhyasa, repetition. Consistently. It is shown. Abhyasa, apurvata. Phalam, result is what? Sarva anartha hanihi. Ananda avaptihi. All anarthas, your samsaritvam, gone for good, not managed, gone for good. Existential issues gone for good. Ananda Vaptihi. You are stating as remaining in the state of Ananda. Therefore, Apurvata. Phalam. Result. This is the result. Then, Arthavada. Praise or criticism. Because whatever you praise, that's where your heart is. Whatever you criticize, the opposite of that is what your heart is. So, to show Tatparya, Arthavada, praise is also taken into account. Whenever a story is said, whenever praise, criticism, stories, etc., all of them are Arthavada. To highlight a point.
So sometime back you used the word Sarvatha Hani.
Sarva Anartha Hani. Anartha Hani. Hani, you understood? Yeah. And all this has to be logically presented. So, Upapatti, examples have to be given. It has to be example means logic. It has to be logically presented. It is not can't be just a statement, a commandment. Even in an action, it can be a commandment. Hey, character chant, do this. You figure out why, how, etc., and do it. It can be given as a commandment, but a vidhi. But if it is understanding, there has to be logic for it. It can't be an illogical statement, it has to be a logical statement. Because if it is an illogical statement, that's not beyond logic, that's within logic. So what is beyond logic also has to be logically explained, for my understanding. All this is Shadlinga Vichara. Therefore, by this we have established separateness of Brahman. We'll see the application of it later on. How it's applied, we'll see. Okay. So with this, you have established Bhinna Prakaranatvam Shatlinga Vichara. And that Prakaranam is what? Brahma Bodhaka. It's meant for understanding what Brahman is, what the reality is. Okay. Sati Prayojanam. Prayojanam is also there. What is that? Anartha Hani hai. Anushtanataha atra kim. What anushtanam are you doing here? What practice are you doing here? Because you have to understand something. Tattvamasi. Understood. Understood? Swamiji, what do you do after that? That means you are not understood. If you are saying, what do I do after that? That means you are not understood Tattvamasi. So the Upanishad says, Pavana Punyana Shravanam Kurya. Again and again listen until it is clear. It is not clear. The what to do itself implies not lack of clarity. Yeah. Or the question before, you had some insight and then it's coming. You are anticipating that you will know everything completely and then uska baad kya karega? Because it seems as though there is purposelessness. Correct? All purpose has been fulfilled. Abhi kya? What is to be done now? Anandoham. Live in Ananda. Or kya? But someday I may find my life empty. Why? Why do you find your life empty? Tell me that. Just because we are always used to running after some purpose or the other. What is to be done? The kinkara bhavam is high. Kainkirya bhavam. Kim karomi, kim karomi. What shall I do? What can I do? Students of Vedanta may have it slightly differently. What shall I study? What shall I ये भी क्लास अटेंड करने वो भी क्लास करने yeah attend as many classes as you can, nothing wrong in it, but I always tell my students, keep one class your main class, that you will get at any cost. Other class are sides, you may miss some. Otherwise, why I am saying this, because I had a student who tried to follow, those times there was no online class, all physical classes, who tried to follow me in every class. I say, how much time are you spending? You can't do this, you're working. You know, I'll come. But you can't keep it up, na? So you'll miss here and there, miss here and there. I said, don't miss your main class. This is your main class. That class don't miss. Because then you get that continuity. Graded learning, all that will come in one class. But idhar jayega, udhar jayega, udhar jayega, udhar jayega. It becomes mess. It becomes mess. When I had it. Yeah, I'll tell you honestly. I went to Rishikesh. Now, subject matter is clear in the course. Why do you go to Rishikesh, etc.? For added learning, added clarity, and for the knowledge to settle down into. That's why I went to Rishikesh. My goal is very clear. So I am studying a lot of texts. Tirthaji, Karanandagiri, both were. 6 years is a long time and good learning. Or what are you doing? Whole day learning, nothing else. भिक्षा जाता था, भंडारा जाता था, क्लास जाता था, और कुछ नहीं. Good life. Then Swamiji used to be abroad most of the time. 6 months he'll be abroad, 6 months in India. So I said, Swamiji, all this has finished. What next? Swamiji looked at me. I am back in 3 months or so. Sit down and watch the Ganga. I sit down and watch the Ganga. Okay? So क्या करने का? Morning you got up, finished your morning ablutions, whatever. Then comes, by that time the ashram was functioning. Okay? So many rooms, as you all know, were not there, but it was functioning. About 40 rooms are there. Kitchen was running, everything was. So what do you do? So ऐसा करने का. गंगा किनारे बैठ जाओ, watch. Then breakfast का बज गया. Go have a cup of tea, have some breakfast. Come back. What do you do? Watch the Ganga. Then before you know it, lunch bell has gone. Oh, okay. Go have some. Come back. Oh, afternoon too hot. Okay, going to room, sit for half an hour, this, that, etc. Have a cup of tea, and then what do? Watch the Ganga. Then sunset time. So Aarti in the temple, everything. Okay, fine. Then dinner. Then sit down, watch the Ganga until you feel sleepy enough to go to sleep. महाराज जी ये क्या हो रहा है? बहुत हो रहा है. At the end of the first day, I realized exactly what Swamiji had meant. All the knowledge is to settle down in you. You have studied a lot. Done a lot of mananam also. For me, mananam happens like this continuously as I am studying. It happens. Arguments against, for, etc. come into my mind. Sometimes I tell my teacher all that. It happens fast. Settle down. Then after 3 months he came back. How's everything? All fine, something. Go confuse the people now. Job ho gaya. What is the idea? What is there to be done? Nothing is to be done. That's the idea. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Therefore he says, Anushtanataha tukkim. There is something to be known, something to be understood. So whatever you do is keeping this in you. You come to Vedanta. The Guru may ask you to do some japa, some this thing, some that thing. Okay. Some teachers highlight that a lot, some teachers don't highlight it a lot. Okay. Especially in society, we don't highlight that a lot because people are busy or come. You know? And modern work, etc. If you have Karma Yoga Buddhi, a lot of preparation is done. If you have Karma Yoga Buddhi with modern lifestyle and the work and all the running around, including even if you are a homemaker and only looking after home, there's a lot to be done. Therefore, with Prasada Buddhi, Ishwararpana Buddhi, mind is taken care of. So what is to be added? Maybe some Japa Dhyanam, etc. Okay. Or if bhakti is lacking, okay, some small puja, this, that, etc. If bhakti is lacking. But you have to be always careful of that. As I tell people, you will channel your inner Brahmana, then all you are doing is puja part. Visit one temple, visit another temple, do puja part. Don't overdo it. I am not saying worship is not important. Yeah. Don't get caught up in it because any action, including worship, is involved with it. You thought, take a simple. Yeah, I'm not fit here. I'm not fit. I need to get some health. थोड़ा कुछ exercise करनी है. So, you watch some videos, just start doing some exercise at home. You can get very fit with that, okay? But then you feel not enough here. Weight training नहीं होता है. Walking on Bombay roads is such a pain. Let me join a gym. First you thought 3 days a week I'll go to the gym. Good. 3 days a week. The guy is putting you half an hour cardio. अबे 20 minutes half an hour cardio नहीं करेंगे तो क्या होगा? That minimum you have to do, ना? Then फिर weight training कभी करेगा? You can't take all your muscle groups, 8 major muscle groups in one day, 2 exercises, 3 sets. Oh my God, मर जाएगा. So you do 2 body parts. Okay. So 6 exercises. Sorry, 4 exercises, 3 sets. 8. Maximum 12 sets. बहुत हो गया. But उसके लिए टाइम लगता है यार. 1 hour goes. So from 3 days it became, maybe I should go a couple of more days because cardio is not working out. I'm only just doing warm up. My cardiac health is not good. I'm spending a lot of time on weights. So then you decided 1 or 2 days. Then you end up going 6 days a week to the gym. Then they'll push some You're not getting enough proteins. अरे इंडियन डाइट है, चिकपीस है, छोले है, दाल राइस कॉम्बिनेशन और दाल रोटी कॉम्बिनेशन इज कंप्लीट प्रोटीन्स. No, they are not good proteins. अरे हम पनीर खाते हैं, छोले खाते हैं, नहीं थोड़ा प्रोटीन पाउडर ले लो, बिकॉज यू नीड 1 gram of protein powder. So you start that. Finally you find 4 घंटे इसमें जाता है रोज. What you started for? You wanted some functional fitness. I tell people, give me 20 minutes a day, but every day. I'll make you functionally fit. 20 minutes is all in program. I'll give you functional fitness in 20 minutes a day. I mean, you will not be able to lift 40 pounds. That you will not be able to do. But you, why do you need that? Coolie बनने के लिए क्या? Good one. I was lifting 50 pounds weight each hand and doing 20 reps. Sir, reps कम करो, weight ज़्यादा बढ़ा. I told him the same thing, the trainer. मेरे को पुली नहीं बनने का, 50 pounds हो गया, एक सूटकेस 50 pounds नहीं है. पुली बनने के लिए और weight उठा के, poor guy didn't know what to say. What I'm trying to say is, can get involved. Correct or not? Anything is like that. You wanted to pick up basic software so that some understanding is there. You ended up being a coder. Became an alternate profession now, which may be a good thing if you want to change your profession. But karma is like that, can involve and pull you in. You said, I light a lamp every day. Then इतना सब देवता है यार, थोड़ा प्रसाद ऑफर करने का. So lamp prasad, then lamp prasad आरती, then जैसे लिंगा there, there's this, so थोड़ा अभिषेक करो. Finally you are doing 1 hour puja every day. Stop at that, don't extend more, please. Isn't this how everything starts now? Sacred or secular, this is how it starts. So I want to learn some prayers. Chanting singing. Where does it end? I just wanted to chant. I started this Dasha Santri mantras and what I'm chanting for Brahma Sutra. 10-15 minutes. But then you end up with Purusha Suktam. Then first you do all the Puranic ones. So Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, so then you end up with Purusha Suktam, Meda Suktam, etc. Then you do the whole Rudram. You do the whole Veda also, be a Pandita only. All these activities are good activities. I am not criticizing the activity. I am only pointing out how it can involve you and pull you in. Be careful of that. So be clear what you are doing for what you are doing and do it. I am interpreting Gahana Karmano Gati in another ways. Gahana Gati, it is deep, it will pull you in. This is fact of life. And anything is like that. Martial arts, you wanted some basic self-defense. Someone came to my self-defense workshop. Security for the traveling executive. Simple. How to be safe when you are traveling. It's not about fighting. But then they came with, Swamiji, someone comes and grabs you, what you do. So I showed them a few things. I really want. This is 3-month self-defense course someone is conducting. Join 3 months. Finally, 3 days a week you are going for martial arts class. And now I want a black belt. And they come and tell me, Swamiji, black belt, easy. Go to the supermarket. You get varieties of black belts. Leather ones, canvas ones, whatever you want. Designer belts. Easy. I don't want to buy a black belt. I want to earn one. Martial arts is not about belts. It's about what you have here, what you have here. I'm quoting Miyagi, okay? Joking, okay? The idea is anything can be involving, go with your eyes open and clear-cut goals, what you're going for. What are you doing all this for? Moksha. Keep that in. Antakarna Naishchalya. Bhakti bhavam should be there. And that bhakti should be manifest in your life. That's more important. Yeah. I'm not bothered whether you're doing 2 hours puja every day or not. But do you have prasada buddhi in everything in your life? That is what matters. Do you have the courage that God is with you in whatever you are facing? Or you are running scared when something happens? Or you, in spite of the fear, you are doing what has happened? That is courage. That's what bhakti is supposed to be. Yeah. If that is not there, your bhakti is not functioning. Yeah. So the thing is, that bhava that I have in the puja, complete sense of surrender, seva, acceptance of things, extend to my life. Yeah, extend to my life. Yeah. Hey, you're taking on a big project. Yeah, God and I are working on it. God and I are working on it. It works out well, prasada. Doesn't work out, prasada. यार इज्जत का फलूड़ा हो जाएगा, prasada. If that is there, then bhakti has fulfilled itself. And if that is not there, all your pujas are not effective. See what you are doing wrong. But what will people do? I will do more. If something is not working, more of the same thing will not work. You have to see how to do it differently. What is wrong? Attitude? The thing that I am doing, what is not working? My attitude is wrong. My intensity is wrong. Becoming a chore. What happens? What's happening? But at the end of it, what? He says, I digress from Anushtana. For moksha, what Anushtana do you have to do? For getting your mind ready, you may do some things. But not for moksha. Getting your mind ready, you can do all these things. And your mind can be got ready in 100 different ways. Why? It's something finite. Kartum, akurtum, anythava kartum shakyam. Okay? Therefore, for moksha, no anushtanam. For only jnana matra. Then there is another Purva Paksha coming up. There is a second section to it. That also we will see. Very much connected to this. Okay? Pratipattim vidhana santi brahmanyata ita utaha shastratvate vidyataraha mananadehe kirtana. You say different section, etc. All that is true. But is there a vidhi in your Upanishad or not there? Upanishad is also connected to action. Why? Agreed, it is moksha paraha, that you have to know yourself. Atma vare drashtavyaha, vidhi a clean cut. And for that, for Atma darshanam, like you go to Kedar and do Kedarnath darshanam, here you do Atma darshanam. And for Kedarnath, you have some things to do. Here also you have something to do. Shrotavya, mantavyo, nididhyasitavya. If it was jnanam alone, it was just shrotavya and kept quiet. No? Because the pramana is shabdatmakam. It would have said shrotavya and kept quiet. But mantavya, nididhyasitavya is there. Therefore, your Upanishad also has got vidhi, action in it. Manasa karma. It may not be kayikam karma, physical karma, but manasam. Okay? Shastratati viditaraha manananadesha kirtana. Can you deny this? Primary sadhana in Vedanta is what? Shravana manana nididhyasana. Correct? Karma yoga etc. is put as secondary. Your japa dhyanam, all that is secondary. Okay, fine. But primary mein to hai kya nahi? Manana nididhyasanam is there. If mananam nididhyasanam is there, you are Shrotavya. See, now it's very clear. Shravanam gives you paroksha jnanam. Then in Nididhyasanam, you will get aparoksha jnanam. In the white heat of meditation, the paroksha jnanam will get converted into aparoksha jnanam. Anubhava will be there. This is modern Vedanta. Every organized group of Vedanta is stuck like this. I met some big names in Vedanta. Popular, oh my God. He was present at the Yoga Festival as one of the great teachers in Vedanta. He talks like this. Kya bolega isko? Because Nididhyasanam mentioned. Nididhyasanam clearly mentioned. Therefore, because Anubhava is not. Don't you feel that? I listen to Vedanta but I have no experience. I don't feel anything. That's every student's experience. No? I don't feel. My counter to that is, do you want to reduce Vedanta to a feeling? So, Nididhyasanam. Therefore, Manasa karma is there. That means what? Moksha is a result of a Manasa karma. Moksha is a result of an experience. Great names presented like that. I sat down on some hilltop and time and space stopped still. What does Vedanta say? Time and space, hai nahi hai, mithya hai. And you think time and space stopped. For how long? 3 hours. 3 days. फर्क क्या पड़ा? Stopped, it stopped. That's why I encourage every student to see that movie Samsara. It's an Indo-Tibetan production. It's a great movie. I'm sure you'll get it online. In some online library you'll get it. It talks about this young man. 3 years, 3 months, 3 days he has been in Samadhi. Then they open the cave. Slowly get him out of Samadhi by playing that gong music. Then they grind almonds, dried fruits into a paste and give it to him. Because 3 years, peristaltic moment is not there. It takes him a month to come back to normal.
We will get this movie on YouTube also.
Huh?
Samsara, we can get it on YouTube.
Yeah,
also.
probably on YouTube also you'll get. So this, by that time he comes out. And then he finds all sorts of problems are coming up from his subconscious. He doesn't come out saying Ananda Om, Ananda Om. Okay, or in Buddhist terms, Shunya Om, Shunya Om. It doesn't happen. All problems only are coming up after that. Naturally, conscious mind has been quietened. Lord there and the subconscious is coming up. Because in a Buddhist ashram, you are kept very busy. Sitting down and watching the Ganga is not there. Sitting down meditation is there. But other times, you are cooking, you are cleaning. Whole ashram work is done by the students. A lot of work. Yeah, some study, lots of work.
These lamas are all Buddhist. Dalai Lama and all.
Yeah, they're all Buddhists. All of them are Buddhists. Yeah. So a lot of work is there. So you don't have time to sit down and think and let the subconscious throw up things. So in Samadhi ka baad ho jata hai. All that it comes up. All right. So now the answer to that. Okay. The answer to that is what? न कर्तृतंत्रतोस्ति विधिः शास्त्रा शासनादपि मननादेहे पुरा बोधदं ब्रह्मण्याति ततस्तति. ब्रह्मणि अवस्थिता स्थितिः. Not very clear on that.
अवस्थिता तथा
ब्रह्मणि अवस्थिता
तथा
Avastita stita.
तथा
Tataha avastit. Okay, there's one E missing here.
तथा
And one E is missing. Avastita tataha. Okay. Na kartrutva asti vidhi. There is no kartrutva vidhi. Even though Atmavari, Drashtavya, etc. is said, that is not a vidhi for a karta. Okay. Why is he taking it as a vidhi? Because what is Shastram? Shasanad trayati iti shastra. Therefore, shasanadapi, that word shasanam, can be taken not necessarily as a vidhi, but shifting your attention. The vidhi is meant to shift your attention. You're focused on what to do outside, and he says, Atma vare drashtavya. Look at yourself. You are looking for things outside, look at yourself. He is not saying look inside. Remember, I am not saying look inside. I am saying look at yourself. What is it? Shasanadati. Okay. Mananadehe. Manananidhyasana means before bodham or after bodham. Before you know the truth or after you know the truth. Before you know the truth. No? That means if after Shravanam you are doing Mananam and Nididhyasana, what does it mean? The truth is not clear for you yet.
So that's what he said.
Huh? Yeah. The truth is not clear for you yet. That's what it means. And therefore the truth will be. But if the truth has to be clear in Shravanam, it will be. If you are an adhikari, ataha sadhana chatushtya sampannanam. If something is lacking there, Nididhyasana is necessary. The argument of paroksha jnanam and aparoksha jnanam. Aparoksha vastunaha paroksha jnanam nasti. For a vastu that is in front of you, this pen, can you have indirect knowledge of this pen? Paroksha jnanam. First you get indirect knowledge, then you make it direct knowledge. Not possible. Pen is pen. अभी इसका indirect direct क्या है? Atma is direct or indirect? Nothing can be more direct than the Atma. I am self-evident. At least this has to be in front of your eyes for you to say it is there. Atma is what? Before you can think, I am there. Can't be more self-evident than that. Can't be more aparoksha than that. Therefore, such an aparoksha vastu can never become paroksha. Therefore, as far as Atma is concerned, there can be only aparoksha jnanam or ajnanam. You don't know. Or vague knowledge. You know, but vaguely. That's not knowledge anyway. For a paroksha vastu, you can have paroksha jnanam, and later on when you go there, have aparoksha jnanam. Gomukh, paroksha jnanam. Then you went and saw Gomukh, aparoksha jnanam. In lower B as I describe it, okay? That's the thing between paroksha jnanam and aparoksha. Gomukh, what do you have in image? As though there's a huge cave like the mouth of a cow and as water has to come out. That's not the description. And I say, whole glacier, you imagine an ice mountain. But glacier किधर है? ये है ना? But that's all soil, na? That is topsoil covering the glacier. Oh, you could feel the ice. Sit on it for half an hour, you will feel it. Remove 3 inches of the soft soil, you will see the ice. Yeah. Topsoil always comes on it. So, when you have aparoksha jnanam for a paroksha vastu, in time, it will never be exactly like how it is described, okay? Whereas aparoksha jnanam is what? Exactly as it is. Therefore, manana, nididhyasana, etc. is before. Not to convert paroksha jnanam into aparoksha jnanam. Nididhyasana, as I said, either to click my joke. Remember that example of the joke? My friend. I cracked the joke at the dinner time. He understood it when he was driving me home. When we were driving home, he understood it. It clicked later. That can happen in Nididhyasana. Or to own a lack of integrity between here and here. Between your knowledge and your emotions. We all have a gap. We don't always function with our knowledge. And our society and our living as such, thoda white lies ho jata hai, come on. So those things happen. So because of that, there's a lack of integrity. That what I know doesn't flow. So what is total integrity? Here is a guy who is a smoker. He is smoking because he is enjoying it. It's a habit. Okay. The, why you enjoying putting smoke into your lungs, I couldn't figure out. I have experimented. I said, tried. People are smoking. क्या होता है? Putting smoke. Give me fresh air. यार smoke क्या है? Anyway, we are enjoying it. But there must be some payoff. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. The nicotine effect. That's the payoff. Anyway, for lack of understanding, you smoke. Then someone came and told him all that, showed him all that thing, how tobacco affects cancer, this, that, etc. If he is a person of true integrity, what will happen? Cigarette should, his finger should open up, cigarette should drop. Cigarette packet, lighter, etc. should be dropped into the garbage immediately. Hota hai aisa? If 100% integrity, this will happen. But we don't. We struggle over it. Of course, thoda addictive effects of nicotine is also there. But we struggle over it.
Bloodstream में चले जाता
Huh?
है. Nicotine goes in the bloodstream.
Yeah. So because of that, we struggle a bit.
Craving होता है.
Showing what? That what we know and what we is not always flowing through. There is always a gap. So because of that, here also there is a gap. What I know is not integrated into my emotional life, my physical life is not coming in. So Nididhyasana is meant for that integration, owning up. In simple terms, owning up what you know. Or in Swami Chinmayanji's language, I find that beautiful. What has gone in through the ears should sink into the heart. Otherwise, it'll leak from the mouth. We'll talk about it. So, Swami Chinmay, he was telling it to us full timers, okay? He'll leak through our mouth, you'll go talking. Prachar karega jaake. What do you know? Own it up first before you talk. Okay? But sometimes teaching itself is a method of owning up, okay? And that I'll talk about sometime. So that is where he says it's only for owning up. Okay? Therefore, where is the vidhi? It looks like a vidhi. But the vidhi is only to shift your attention from your external pursuits. Shift your attention to who's the one who's doing all this. There is no real vidhi. Nididhyasanam is not an action. Why? Nididhyasanam ends where it begins, and action does not end where it begins. Action after the class going home. You started by getting out of the room. So unless you are doing class online and you are already at home, the action doesn't end. No? Going home. I have to make all these things now because half the people are watching. भूख लग रहा है यार, ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं खाया, क्लास में बैठा सीधा, चलो भूख मिटाना क्या है? Does the hunger is the hunger satisfied with the first morsel? No. थोड़ा 2-3 पराठा खाने का है, छोले खाने का, ये खाना. After that, after demolishing about a pound of food, you feel हाँ अभी हो गया. It does not end where it begins. Nididhyasanam starts what? Pure consciousness, Shuddham Brahman. Where does it end? In Shuddham Brahman only. Where does it move? No, but Swamiji, you do all that relaxation, etc. That is to put you in mood for Nididhyasanam. That's not Nididhyasanam. Yeah. Because you are all running around and chalo, keep your mind, okay. You're too tense, you're stressed out, okay, relax. Thoda invoke bhakti out of you, all that. उसके बाद निधिध्यासनम करते हैं. It ends, Nididhyasanam ends where it begins. Action doesn't end where it begins. So Nididhyasanam is not an action. It is not Manasam Karma also. And Upasana is Manasam Karma. Even though we say Nirguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyapara, what is the Manasa Vyapara? The attempt to see it. That's all, nothing more than that. Because Nirgunam, what Vyapara can be there? Avyavaharyam, remember? Mandukya. Avyavaharyam. Ekatma pratyasara. So it's avyavaharyam, there is no action. Therefore, nididhyasanam is not an action. Therefore, the whole Upanishad section is meant to understand what? Aham Brahmasmi. Okay. Hare Krishna here. Now that little bit I said, we will do the Upakrama Upasamhara also. I'll demonstrate how it happens. Okay. Because how many of you have done Vedanta Sara with me or with Swamini?
Yeah.
Others have not done. Some of you have done. So a little bit I will demonstrate how that Shadlinga Vichara works next class and then go into the Sutra proper. Okay. Good place to stop. Okay. Om Tat Sat.